The media has been buzzing with some headlines recently that no one can say they didn't see coming. Ever since Bronny, the first son of the NBA sports superstar LeBron James, got transferred to Sierra Canyon, a private K-12 school in Chatsworth, Los Angeles, the basketball community, fans, and pundits have been keeping their ears to the ground, silently hoping that the young James would toe the path of his father, whose time at the St. Vincent St. Mary High School was nothing short of legendary. A little year after Bronny's transfer, and it seems like their prayers have been answered. The young man is now the center of attention in the media for no other reason than skills on the court. Are you surprised? I don't know about you, but I'm not. Whether you pass the vibe check and say it's the good genes, it runs in the family, or you decide to be salty and blame the attention on his father's fame and achievement, there's no denying the fact that Bronny James, at the age of 16, is proving to everyone that he has some serious talent and he might well be among the most talented ballers in his age group. Unsurprisingly, LeBron James himself has also been on the scene showing serious support for his son at his games and on his Instagram posts. And unsurprisingly, everyone everywhere in the media has been quick to compare the Los Angeles Lakers Superman to the young, budding talent that is his son. It all sounds a bit unfair, comparing anyone with a player like King James, let alone a 16-year-old player. However, when you're the son of one of the greatest NBA players of all time, then that comes with its baggage, especially if you decide that you want to become a basketballer yourself. In the case of Bronny, it's no different. He's been playing basketball since he was 4, and now that he's 16 and getting dangerously close to the NBA drafting eligibility, there's one question on everyone's mind that I'm not ashamed to vocalize. Is 16-year-old Bronny James better than 16-year-old LeBron James Sr.? Before we continue, try to set aside your "it's because LeBron is his father" prejudice, and let's address this as objectively as we possibly can. How did Bronny get to the point where everyone who watches him play regards him as one of the most promising high school players in the United States? How did the junior James stack up an insane scout grade of 83, become a consensus 5-star recruit, and cause colleges to queue up for him years before his eligibility? To get to the bottom of this, we need to go way back to how it all started for the heir of King James. Bronny was born on the 4th of October 2004, when his father was just 19 years old and in his second season of his NBA career. From the time he was a kid, Bronny's strong athletic genes were already evident. However, the senior LeBron was quite protective of him and would make sure that young Bronny didn't play any sport like hockey or football that would hurt him physically and mess up any future chances of him getting into the sport. As Bronny grew older, soon enough he got into basketball, and that is when it became clear that LeBron James might have just photocopied himself. By the time Bronny was 9, he was already receiving college scholarship offers to basketball programs around the nation, which felt weird and premature at the time to most people, including LeBron. According to Mike Sullivan of CBS Detroit, James said this when he was asked at the time about the colleges scouting his 9-year-old son. "Yeah, he's already got some offers from colleges and it's pretty crazy. It should be a violation. You shouldn't be recruiting 10-year-old kids." A lot of people thought the same too, but when you're the son of one of the greatest basketball players of all time, this is some of the baggage you might have to deal with. We all later found out that some of the universities checking out Bronny included Kentucky and Duke. Bronny attended middle school at the Old Trail School in Bath Township, Summit County, Ohio. And that's where he first showed that he was an achiever on the court, leading his middle school to an Independent School League tournament win. Before he had even gotten into high school, Bronny had already competed with more than a handful of basketball teams in the AAU, and by the time he was 9, Bronny was playing for the Miami City Ballers, where he was so good that Kentucky Wildcats head coach John Calipari had already started to notice him. Mind you, the kid was just in 4th grade at the time. By June 2015, Bronny James led an AAU team at his school called the Gulf Coast Blue Chips to a 4th grade championship at the Dallas Hype Sports Summer Jam. By March 2018, he led the North Coast Blue Chips in Houston to win a John Lucas All-Star Weekend title. April of the same year, his team, the Blue Chips, finished undefeated. Later in June, Bronny James, despite being younger than most of the team members he was competing against, took the same team straight to the quarterfinals. By the time he was 14, he got into a new team called the Strive for Greatness at the Under-16 Nike Elite Youth Basketball League in Indianapolis. And it was at that point that the competition started getting serious. There he faced players of his caliber that were either on his already impressive level or were even better than him. The likes of Jalen Duren, who was a year older than him and a consensus 5-star recruit and the #1 player in his recruitment bracket. Or do we talk about the insane baller Imani Bates, who was also a year older than him and a consensus 5-star recruit and also one of the highest ranked players in his recruitment bracket. However, Bronny James didn't let any of the intimidation get to him. The kid kept his head in the game and focused on getting better, something that drew praise from many scouts who were impressed with his maturity on the court. Initially, Bronny rocked the number 0, a clear homage to his favorite player, Russell Westbrook. But after he got into 8th grade, he finally did the one thing that everyone was expecting him to do, and that was choosing the number 23. metaphorically slipping into his father's shoes. Now, considering the pace that the young James is moving at, his skill set, and current amateur stats, it's clear that the kid is worth the hype, but what many are actually interested in is knowing what will happen after his high school run. Will he become as legendary as his father was in high school? The senior LeBron, who scored 2,657 points, 892 rebounds, and 523 assists through his 4 years in St. Vincent St. Mary's High School. Well, we are bound to find out soon. In December 2018, and after enrolling at the Crossroads School in Santa Monica, California earlier that same year, the young James scored 27 points in a 61-84 victory over Culver City Middle School. Soon enough, Bronny would leave Crossroads for Sierra Canyon for his freshman year of high school, and be joined soon by Zaire Wade, son of the legendary player Dwayne Wade, also one of LeBron James' closest friends. 5-star recruits BJ Boston and Xavier Williams. Right now, their team is considered one of the best in high school basketball. In November 2019, Bronny made his high school debut, scoring 10 points off the bench in a blowout win over Montgomery High School where he scored 15 points, including a go-ahead layup at last minutes to seal the game, and was named Most Valuable Player in a victory over his father's alma mater, St. Vincent St. Mary's.
Otherwise, the Irish can just run it out. Oh, the deflection and the steal by Bronny James, and the finger roll off the glass. Bronny has given Sierra Canyon the lead.
So far, Bronny has proven that he is not a fluke, and he has medals and stats to show for it. No one is contesting his undeniable skill, and his father couldn't be happier. LeBron has been a supportive father all the way, having not had a father figure in his own life while growing up. He recently spoke about how he was aware of the burden his son had on his shoulders and how he expected his son to chart his own path with or without him. Living up to the legacy that LeBron has set is no mean feat for anyone. LeBron James is better than most of the best at the game, and there is a reason why he's compared to MJ. However, LeBron hasn't allowed that to alienate him from his son and has come to an understanding with Bronny that allows him to be as involved in his life as any loving father would be, having been spotted several times cheering his son from the sidelines at his game, or even going as far as dunking some pregame shots, yelling and hyping up his son's team, and being a great dad and his biggest fan, something that has drawn some criticism from the public. LeBron doesn't care though, and we wouldn't either if we were in his shoes. LeBron James has even gone as far as saying that his son might even be better than him. In fact, NBA draft analyst Paul Biancardi actually praised Bronny earlier this year in the safest yet dramatic fashion on Twitter. I hope LeBron is not going to get mad at me, but I think Bronny's jump shot is a little bit better. Rather than get mad, LeBron actually agreed with him, pointing out in a response tweet that he can't ever be mad at the facts. Flamethrower he has, and by the way, I probably got the third best jump shot in the household. Bryce Maximus got a cooker too. Bryce Maximus is the 14-year-old younger brother of Bronny, and the second son of LeBron James, who is already proving himself to be quite the player. He has even been rumored to be better than the beloved Bronny, but that's a discussion for another video. At the age of 16 and 6'2", it's not too hard to see that Bronny is clearly built differently from his father when he was at the same age. Young LeBron was taller, clearly huge, around 6'5", and looking every bit the incredible young NBA prospect that he already was at that point. But he was also lanky back then too, before he eventually built himself into the mountain of muscle that we all recognize and adore today. During his early years, LeBron looked more like KD now. Bronny doesn't have the natural lankiness that his father had at 16, and that could be because of how much work he has been putting into building up muscle, his intense diet, and his workout regimen. At the moment, he looks more like a point guard, even though his game is still evolving and his body is still changing rapidly thanks to the many advantages of his privileged background. However, while children of privilege get a head start in life, we all know that when it comes to the NBA, you're only as good as your game. Comment below to let us know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot!